Bridge Street is brought to you by Retirement Income Analysts.
Well, you're looking at Times Square in New York City on New Year's Eve last year. That scene will be playing out again in less than 2 weeks as 2015 comes to a close.
And so now is a good time to take stock of where you are in life, and that includes your finances. Chip Coughlin of Retirement Income Analysts is here to tell us why. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I guess when you look at that picture, you think that first off, a lot probably has changed in the last year, perhaps with your retirement, and so this is a good idea to see if you need to shift things around, right?
Absolutely. This is a great time of the year to look at your portfolio and check your allocation, because as you know, this year has been quite volatile.
Yeah.
And you want to see if your allocation is matching the amount of risk and your time horizon that you'd like to take.
Mm-hmm. And some years you might need to make a lot, other years you might not need to tweak a lot, right?
Correct. As you get closer to retirement, you have to take some of the wind out of the sails.
Yeah.
Well, another one that you said is particularly important this time of year is your net worth, looking at that.
Right. We like our clients to look at their net worth every year to see how they're doing. Year over year, you have to make progress. So we've got a net worth statement on your website. You can download that, you can go fill it out, and I say do it honestly, because I want, if you know what you owe in the loan, but what is your house really worth? Okay, so we want to compare year over year so that you can see some progress, and then save that, and next year do the same exercise, because you have to make progress year over year.
Okay. Also on the list there it says review the monthly budget, because that's another important thing. You want to know what you're spending on before you start, making progress with your retirement.
This is a great time of year to look at the budget, because it's the consumer spending time of year.
Yeah.
And everyone should have a holiday budget, but we also think they should have a monthly budget. And they should look at that and project for the year. What are the expenses that are coming my way? How can I make some changes, perhaps to cut some corners that'll help my net worth? Okay, a little bit more in savings, a little less spending, watch those credit cards.
Yeah. And that's something you probably should look at, not only just at the end of the year, but a couple of times during the year, just to kind of keep an eye on where the money's going.
We try to get our clients to look at their budget on an ongoing basis, because it helps them make good decisions. Do I really need this, or do I really want this?
Wants and needs are two totally different things. And I think this next one goes along with that, setting financial goals. Because if you have a budget in place, then it's probably easier to set those financial goals.
Exactly. Everyone has goals. They could be educational goals, they could be family goals, but financial goals are just as important. And this is a great time of year to review those so that you can set some goals, so that you can get a year down the road and say, hey, I made some progress. I feel good about this. And I always ask the question, who do you work for? You work for yourself and you work for your family. Let's make sure you put yourself in a better position every year.
Well, and taking these steps now will help you in the future, right? So when you do go to retire, it's not like, oh no,
it's not a shock.
Yeah.
It's not a shock to your budget either. So thinking and planning ahead will give you the motivation to save and make good decisions on where to allocate your resources.
I was going to say, we were talking about asset allocation, and one of the things that you can do, I guess, at that point is decide whether you can contribute more, because at certain times in your life, there's going to be times where you're going to be able to step up and put more into the pot, so to speak, right?
On the path of life, there are different times, like when your children are done with college, where you can really put the gas pedal down in that 401k plan, or do an IRA. All of those will help you in the long run.
Now, let's say that there are young people, though, even if you're not married or have children, or as long as you're sort of working in the workforce, you should be thinking ahead and planning ahead, right? You're never too young.
You're never too young to begin this process. I have 3 daughters that are between 25 and 30, and we talk about this all the time. They have to have a budget, they have to have a retirement plan, and any raises they get, don't change your standard of living. Put that back into your retirement plan.
Because that's the big thing to try to impress upon young people is when you start saving early, it's so much easier, right?
Absolutely. A little bit of money over a long period of time gives you an explosion of value. If you can hold that course to 65.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect.
Some great tips, especially this time of year, and something to think about aside from the shopping and, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Well, Chip, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
And don't forget his website is there on the screen, retirementincomeanalysis.com.